How's it going? My name is Mike and this is Something Mobile, and the first thing that you should consider is time. Yeah, I know that sounds kind of weird, but time. Yeah, give it time, because what happens is you get your new phone and you need about maybe 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more to get used to it, right? Especially because there's a whole bunch of new features that you're going to be learning about in the new iPhone. All right, so give it some time. There's some oddities that you'll probably face, and most likely you will acclimate, or maybe you won't. At least it's worth a try. Okay, so the things to know. You'll be able to access your photos in something that you call iCloud, and you will be getting a service called iCloud with 5 gigabytes free storage. That storage will go fast, but you can upgrade to 50 gigabytes for I believe $2.99 a month, and you can go up from there. I do caution you though, be careful with that. Honestly, maybe getting an external hard drive and transferring your photos that way might be something that you should consider in the future. Can you access Google Photos? Yes, you can. You can still access Google Photos on your new iPhone, but you'll be having those 2 services that you can go back and forth with if you would like to. You can turn it off if you would like. You have no choice but to sign up with that service, iCloud. That will come with the free storage. Even if that's not something that you really want, it's going to be there. So that was number 1. Number 2 is messaging. So is iMessage all that great? Is it something that you should be looking forward to? If you were asking me, I would say yes, definitely. I really like iMessage. What you're used to right now is something called RCS that's built into your Android phone, and you can send MMS messages and SMS messages. Because the iPhone doesn't have something called RCS built in, it's got its own platform called iMessage. When it receives a message from an Android phone, it comes in as a green bubble. So everybody that has an RCS based phone will show up as a green bubble. You'll know that they're not on iMessage. You'll receive iMessages on Wi-Fi, but you won't receive SMS or MMS messages from an Android phone onto your iPhone if you are not connected to a mobile network. So what's cool about RCS working on multiple Android phones communicating with each other, if you're in a certain app, you can see the little icon telling you when somebody's typing, or you can get a read report telling you that somebody got your message. On iMessage, you have the same thing, but you won't have that when you're messaging somebody from an Android phone. But what is nice about iMessage, you can receive your messages from other Apple products, such as an iPad, MacBook, iMac, of course, your watch, and those all work seamlessly unless you decide to turn off that functionality on those individual devices. But a little side note, I'm gonna caution you, if you happen to get into a group message, which that kind of happens a lot, and you're trying to get out of it, and there happens to be somebody that has an Android phone, the whole chat's going to be green and you know that you're locked in. You can delete the group that you're in off of your phone, but it's always there in the background. So when somebody comments, it's always gonna come back. It's kind of a pain. I haven't figured out how to get out of that yet. If you guys have an idea or have experienced this and have figured out a way to be able to get out of these messages, it would help me and everybody else here in this video. So leave a comment down below. If you guys are getting any value out of this video so far, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, let's get on to the rest of this video. Customizing. So yes, you can customize your iPhone, but it's going to be quite different from what you can do on an Android. There's going to be a more personalized experience on an Android. You're leaving that customizability to more of a fixed customized iPhone. It's simplistic. So you do have the app drawer, you slide over that way, and you have widgets if you slide over this way. So the widgets on an iPhone are basic but good. The widgets I use are Siri suggestions, battery, and weather. Siri suggestions is fairly accurate, and it's nice because you can pretty much rely on the fact that it's going to give you the correct app right there for you to use when you need it. And if you happen to go over to the app drawer over here, if you have a blank screen like I do, there's going to be a suggestions right there. You're most likely going to have what you need based on the time of day and location of where you are at the time. So some might think that toggles and notifications and the app drawer are actually like the biggest difference between these, but I don't think so. But before we get to that, I'm gonna point out a couple different things to you. Your Android toggles are now in Control Center, which you can access swiping down like that. Notifications can be seen on the lock screen or by swiping down on the top of your home screen. Drag down with the finger placed in the middle of the home screen will take you to the apps suggested by Siri. And of course, mine suggests the Amazon app and give the option to search for a new one. The app drawer is on the right with a swipe to the left, and you can find more widgets that stay out of sight on the left screen with the swipe to the right. So this is all great, but I still say the biggest difference from going to an Android phone to an iPhone is not the phone itself. The biggest difference is everything that is not on the phone. It could be what brand your family or friends use, what app is available that isn't available on your other phone, or just simply the unknown. But there is something still that everyone is missing. What is it that makes your device better than the other? Is it what the phone can do while not in use? Maybe it's accessories you can buy for your phone. How easy is it to get the phone fixed if it's broken? Will the phone die faster on standby, like on some Androids, than actually when in use, like on an iPhone? How long will the phone be supported by the manufacturer? How long will you be getting updates? And if you don't give the device, the new device, a true chance in your mind to be something other than what your old device was, it will never be worthy of a chance as something worthwhile. And yes, we know, of course, the problem with this is the chance that you might be missing out on something great. I would say it's mainly because of the fact that someone might be looking at what is different instead of what is good, or even think about, what am I missing? Or how could I use this? Yeah, I would say the biggest difference in choosing these two devices is definitely the person. And yeah, I know this kind of sounds like cliche, and it's kind of one of those things where of course it's going to be that way, Mike, or that's just your opinion. If you're thinking about making the switch, just give it a real chance. Not for me, not for anybody else, for your user experience. And yes, there truly are some real differences between an Android phone and an iPhone. The hope is that the differences in these phones are actually what truly makes the decision for you, not the underlying feelings of those previous things that I mentioned before. Let's get to number 5 on the list of things that you should know before switching to an iPhone. Yes, the camera. Everybody, when they buy a phone, they're looking to see, is this like the best camera I can get, or how good is this camera? iPhone definitely has a good camera, but there's some differences that we need to talk about. If you use a PC on Android, it's a bit different when you get an iPhone. There's some software that you're going to need to download from the Microsoft Store for managing your photos. Unlike on an Android phone where you can adjust 1080p and 4K within the app, on an iPhone you have to go into settings to make that adjustment. On an iPhone, there's no always on display. And yes, if this phone is off, I can double tap and wake it up. On an Android phone, it happens to be there all the time. Well, sometimes it's just not on the Pixel 6 Pro, but that's just because Pixel 6 Pros are maybe a little buggy. That's the thing with Android. You're definitely gonna know what you're getting with an iPhone. It works pretty much almost every time. There's some bugs with it, but you can almost guarantee that it's going to be fairly consistent. On an Android, you would like it to do that thing, but it doesn't always do that thing that you want it to do. Always on display is one of those things on the Pixel 6 Pro, but sometimes being able to just customize your phone the way you want it could be worth it to you with an Android. With an iPhone, no always on display. We all know that with Android phones, there are a lot of accessories that you can get, but there are also a lot of different Android phones. So those companies may not make that same product that you're looking for on another Android phone that you had on your old Android phone. That could be a problem, right? That can actually determine whether or not you're going to switch over or pick up a new device, unless you're talking about a Samsung. But not all Android users are going to be purchasing Samsungs, right? Because Samsung is such a big company, the manufacturers that make cases and accessories are going to put more effort into making accessories for those phones, because Samsung will sell a lot of them. And that means that they'll be more likely that the case manufacturers or accessory manufacturers are going to make a higher profit because there's more people buying those phones. So why not make cases for phones that are going to be super popular? That's what I would do. Apple introduces up to 4 iPhones every year. Case manufacturers know Apple is going to sell a lot of them, so they want to get in on that and make as many accessories as they can. So you're going to be getting a lot of accessories when you go over to iPhone, especially things like MagSafe accessory manufacturers and things like that. The one other thing I should mention is the fact that you do get an Apple Watch. Happens to be one of the best accessories that I've ever purchased for my iPhone, and I highly recommend it. That's not to say there aren't watches that are available for Android phones, but if you're into smartwatches and you want a reliable one that you know is going to work, then picking up an iPhone and an Apple Watch is probably a really good choice. And speaking of updates, like we had talked about previously in this video, the iPhone often gets up to 5 years of support. There are a few companies now that will support their devices like that. Samsung has good support for their devices, and Google is not going to let this one fall to the side, the Pixel 6 Pro, anytime soon. So if you pick something like that that's popular, you'd be good to go with that as well. Number 9, resellability. iPhones are in high demand, and due to that high demand, they're pretty easy to resell. As long as you've taken care of your phone with a case and a screen protector, which you have a lot of accessories, yeah, you'll have no problem reselling your phone. If you're looking for a place to resell your phone, down in the description, I'll put the company I like to go through. It's Swappa.com. Number 10, the switch. If you watch this whole video and you're ready to make the switch over from your Android phone to an iPhone, before you set up your iPhone, make sure that's not set up yet, go over to the Play Store on your Android phone and get the app called Move to iOS. That is actually made by Apple. You'll be able to move your contacts, data, and things like that, and they just recently updated it to where you can move WhatsApp data over as well. So make sure that you have both devices plugged into a power source, is what Apple says, and then have them on the same Wi-Fi network. You'll be shown a code that you have to enter in on one of the devices, and then you'll be good to go. Even though your Android device says that it's ready and the process of exchanging the information is complete, make sure that on your iPhone that the little blue line that is filling up is completely filled and your device says the process is complete before you close your Android device. Some bonus things I have to talk about is the fact that you do have an actual physical store to go into to be able to talk to somebody if you need to get some help with your iPhone, if you want to get some iPhone accessories. Super convenient to be able to go in there and have great support for your new iPhone. Also, there is a situation where some things will vary from the norm. Example, when choosing a foldable, Apple doesn't offer a foldable device. So the main devices you're probably going to want to consider is the Fold by Samsung or the Flip by Samsung. That's an easy choice. Then obviously you're not going to be switching over to an iPhone because they don't have any flips or folds. Hold on, I'm trying to get in contact with T-Mobile. I shouldn't be on hold much longer, but hi, yes, hello. Good, thanks. How's your day going? Good, all right. Well, that's good. Well, can you please tell me if I can still return my phone? Yes. I think I purchased it like 15 days ago. Yeah, I'm thinking about returning my iPhone. Yeah, I've had it about 15 days, that's right. And okay, the cutoff is 14 days. That's right. Yeah, I thought so. I can still return it? How can I do that? Okay. So yes, I did make an online purchase. Oh, so the buyer's remorse is for 20 days? Okay. Nice. Sweet. Thanks. All right, so let's go ahead and get that going. I'd like to process that. So yeah, I think I want to stick with Android for now. This has been Mike with Something Mobile. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully I helped. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other suggestions or tips for everybody here watching. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you in the next one.